Situated some 80 miles off the south coast of the UK, measuring just over 5 square kilometres, the Isle of Sark is one of the few remaining places in the world where cars are banned, meaning horse-drawn vehicles remain a primary means of transport. Sark Carriages is a family-run business dating back to the 1700s, now owned by Perree, who ensures tourists and locals continue to travel in timeless tradition and style.
So everybody knows that there's horses and carriages on Sark. We're well known for it. We do have tractors and trailers, but just the fact that we don't have any cars is really quite special, I think, and it's quite a novelty for people that are coming to visit. I suppose it goes back to my grandmother, Perree, and she moved over to Sark, and I think they used to deliver the mail with a donkey and cart or a mule and cart, and then it was taken on by my grandfather, and back in those days they used to bring all the cargo and coal and everything up from the harbour by horse and cart. The horses would not only bring up all the cargo and things from the harbour, but they would also be haymaking, doing work on the land, seeding, bringing in hay, you name it. Everything that happened on the farm was done with a horse. Now we just go from the top of the hill and offer tours. We have wooden carriages, and they date back to around 1800s originally. You can usually tell the age of them by looking on the axles or hubcaps. We have a wagonette, which is a small carriage which takes up to 4 people. We also do private Victoria tours, which is the carriage which we use because occasionally we do weddings and that sort of thing, so it's quite special. You know, we do try and make an effort, make it a special experience. The horses work hard in the summer. They bring them out in the fields, from the fields in the spring, get them fit. They work hard during the summer, and then come this time of the year we're sort of quietening down, and by next month there probably won't be any horses working at all. This is Jacko, little Welsh cob, and he's just starting to enjoy his time off now we've come to the end of the season. And then here we've got Alfie. Alfie, unfortunately, is a poo magnet. Don't buy a white horse, is all I can say. But he does dress up very nicely because we use him a lot for weddings. The horses are very important to us, basically because they're our livelihood. And then in the winter, we all go off and do different jobs. I have a small holding. We keep bees, we get honey, we do all sorts of things. I've got chickens, rears, guinea fowl, geese, ducks.
It's quite common over here to have a few different jobs really, especially in the winter months. Horses are quite a unique animal because they are incredibly strong and all of their personalities are completely different. So you really do have to get to know them. There's a mutual trust that has to happen, and I think that's it's a very unique human-animal bond in that way that you get with horses that you don't necessarily get with other animals.
A good carriage horse is one that puts up with its driver really, and bonds with them and can understand them and responds to them. You know, I think we get on quite well. If I come down the road and he hears my voice, he actually looks for me. If you don't talk to your horse or you don't connect with your horse and there is a little bit of a problem, then you know you're not going to get out of the situation so easily. Whereas they look, when they're panicky or they've got a little incident going on, they look to you to know that everything's all right, and if you can reassure them, then there's no problem.
What makes driving a carriage unique, I think, is the relationship that you have with the animal. When you're riding, you have a lot of physical contact, and with driving a carriage, you have none, essentially. All of your control is done entirely through the reins and with your voice and with the trust you build up with the animal. And I think that scares people who ride a little bit when they first get into one, because that physical contact is removed, and that is a big part of riding. But I think once you've mastered it, and once you've gained the animal's trust, and once that animal trusts you, you really have got a kind of a special sort of job on your hands. You can just hear the birds sing and just lean back and just enjoy the ride and just take in everything that's happening around you.
Horses have always been part of my family. Growing up with animals, we're very lucky that you have that opportunity, because it makes you slightly more understanding of things in life, and know that things aren't perfect all the time. So you'll think it is, and then the horse has a different idea, and that sort of changes everything. So yeah, you really need a good sense of humour if you work with horses. You have to take the good with the bad, and if it's nice, it's nice, and if it isn't, make the most of it.